Hello and welcome to Learning BricsCAD. In this lesson we're going to be discussing layouts and viewports. So before you begin to print your designs, we need to spend a little bit of time working on setting up your layouts for printing. So activating layout 1, first thing that I'm going to do is rename the layout. We'll call this first floor plan. And then we'll execute the insert command and select the title block B, and making sure that specify on screen options are all unchecked, and we'll enter 3/8 for the X and Y value for the insertion point. That's going to place the title block 3/8 of an inch to the left and up from the lower left corner. Next, we're being asked to provide or answer the attribute prompts. So in this case, the scale is 1/16 of an inch equals 1 foot. Press enter. The sheet number is going to be 1 and the sheet name first floor plan. Now those values are populated into the title block attributes. The next thing that we're going to do is go to the View menu and choose View Paper Space or Paper Space Views. And we're going to create a single viewport using Entity Synapse to select the corners of our title block. And then you'll notice that the view is created. If we select the viewport and look at the Properties palette, we can see that it currently has a standard scale of custom and the custom scale value. So changing that to be a specific value of 1/16 equals a foot changes the view magnification, and now this particular view is set to that scale. Placing the view in the center of the viewport. Okay, clicking outside of that, let's select the viewport, and what we're going to do here is lock the viewport so that we can't inadvertently change its scale. So by selecting Display Locked Yes in the Properties palette, that locks the viewport, and when I activate that viewport, you'll notice that as I zoom in or out, it's zooming or panning the entire paper space environment as opposed to the viewport or model space environment. So it's a good idea to lock your viewports after you've set the scale. Okay, switching over to the unit plan layout, the next thing that we need to do here is actually modify an existing viewport. So simply selecting the viewport and then selecting the top left grip, we can drag the viewport boundary upwards and then select the right side grip and bring the viewport in to the left a bit. Double click inside the viewport to activate it, and then we'll adjust the view using standard pan and zoom commands. And then clicking outside of the viewport and selecting it, we'll set the standard scale to 1/8 of an inch equals a foot. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is draw a circle, and we're going to convert this circle to a viewport. So creating a circle with approximately 2.5 inch radius, then again selecting the View Paper Space Viewports or Paper Space Views, and selecting Object on the prompt menu. Selecting the circle converts that circle to a viewport. Then we'll select both viewports and let's change their layer to be the viewports layer. You'll notice the objects turn black. So now the viewport boundaries or the viewport objects are placed on the viewports layer. Double clicking inside the circular viewport, we're going to zoom in to the stair, center it in the view, and you'll notice that the grid lines are still showing in this view. So let's first change the scale for this to 1/4 inch equals a foot. And then clicking inside the view will turn off the grid lines for this particular view, or freeze them rather. So we'll scroll down and find the grid, S-grid layer, and we'll select the option to freeze it in the current viewport. So that freezes the grid lines in that viewport only. You'll notice that they're still visible in the other viewport. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll turn off the viewports layer, and that basically causes the viewport boundary objects themselves to disappear. The viewports are still active and functional, but the boundaries are no longer visible. This completes our lesson on layouts and viewports.